My name is Jacqueline Martino-Miller. I am the CEO of Crispus Attucks Youth Build Charter School. I grew up military. My father was in the Air Force. I was born in Montgomery, Alabama. I've lived in York since 1979, and so that's about 41 years. Um, One of the things that brought me here was during the summer, my sophomore years in college. My aunt brought my sister and I here to work. And so while I was here, I said, well, if I find a job somewhere, I'll stay here. Well, I had an interview at Crispus Attucks Association, and I interviewed and I got the position, and I started work on October the 7th, 1979 at Crispus Attucks as a school age teacher in what they call the daycare during that time, but now we call it the early learning centers. Women's History Month should be celebrated not just during that month, but should be celebrated all year round. We should always be honoring and celebrating the women who have touched our lives in so many ways. Their blood, sweats, and tears, and their shoulders that we stand on in this community, in this world. I was inspired by the women in my family, and I'll call them the village, because I come from a family where they're educators and women who always worked in their community to serve. There's women in York past who have inspired me. One of the people that really brought me here somewhat, Ethel Laws, because that was the reason why I continue to come. Dr. Julia May Harris, Dorothy Orr, all of these people have passed, but they played a great place in my heart. Joanne Borders, Marion Howard, Carolyn Beard, the women, the village at CA, at the Active Living Center, like Miss Inez Hill, Miss Olivia Brown, who just passed today, the late Miss Loma Martin, the late Miss Gladys Jernigan, Miss Alice Bowers, the late Miss Alice Bowers, Miss Helen Jackson, Miss Maisie or Miss Marie Orr Sexton. And I hope I didn't miss anybody, but those were all ladies that were part of the village. Some of the present people who did are people like Miss Phyllis Hawkins, Carolyn Sexton, Deb Kopecki, and I think about people like Pamela Gunther Smith. Those are people that inspire me. What in my life brings me joy and fulfillment? One of the things I have to say is that I have a very supportive husband who is there for me through whatever. And the next thing I want to say too is I lost my son in 2020. And he was on dialysis for a long time, but just the memories and the bond that I have with him, because I only have one son, and the bond that I have with him, those memories really helped me to really press on. He left me with 8 grandchildren and 4 great-grandchildren, and they are the loves of my life. Never stop believing in yourself, that you are special, that you matter, and that you have to love you sometimes. Sometimes we get to the point feeling like we have to love other people, and it's egotistical when you don't. But I think the biggest thing is that you have to know that you matter, and you have to love yourself. One of the things I would say to my 10-year-old self is that never ever look down on anyone unless you are to lift them up, because that is so important. We don't lift people up enough. My hope for the future of downtown York in this city is that we find a way to get our young people at the table and let them know that their voices matter. We don't do that enough. I don't know the answer to how to get that to happen, but I do know that it has to happen, because we have so many young people who have some great ideas, who have gone away, been educated, come home, and they want to give back, but they just don't know how. I also would like to see more of the people that are in my age category, a little younger, give to our young people some type of mentoring opportunity, and also to have more opportunities for our young people in York. I think it's important. A lot of times they don't want to come back because they think, oh, there's nothing to do. There's no opportunity. What's going to happen next? That's why it's so important for us to sit down, let them be at the table, let their voices be heard. That's the most important thing, I think, because as we move forward, it's going to be time for us to pass that baton on. And if we don't give them what we know, share with them, pour into them what we know, they're not going to be prepared. And that's important that we do that.